Jack Chan is a detective following abduction cases where young girls randomly disappear across the world. Jack believes that these girls are abducted by a notorious criminal called Madam M, who he believes is training these kids to become serial killers. His theory is actually true, as Madam M has managed to kidnap a group of children and subjects them to vigorous training. The girls are trained in several areas including survival of the fittest, endurance, strength, and even the need to be smart. In addition to that, Madam M also teaches them the art of seduction, where she strictly trains them on how to handle themselves around men. 6 years quickly pass by and the girls have become ruthless but smart assassins. Madam M tests their skills by placing them in a forest and having her men hunt them down. Meanwhile, two girls, Charlene and Catherine, have formed a special bond in the time they have been together and even talk of how their lives had taken a wrong turn. In a second test, Madam M instructs the girls to kill each other and be outside with the bodies of whom they have killed in 2 minutes. The girls are forced to fight to the death, for they would be shot if they fail too. In the final test, Madam M tells the girls that they have to fight in a cage until only one is left. Charlene enters at number 1 and shows her skills as she easily kills one girl after the other. They later join forces with her friend Catherine in an attempt to take out the last girls. However, a different girl called Jing seems to gain an upper hand on them and almost kills Charlene, but Madam M stops her, stating that she has decided to break her rules and will keep all three. To graduate, the girls are invited in a dinner table where Madam M drugs their wine so she could have her men rape them. She later explains her actions by telling them that their bodies are the primary weapon that they will use to effectively kill men, for it's their weak spot. The three girls quickly graduate into professional assassins, becoming effective killers who are able to take any job. As taught by Madam M, the girls use their bodies to lure men and then savagely kill them. Catherine and Charlene do make an ideal team, as they are able to work together to take out their targets. Meanwhile, Jack Chen, who has been pursuing Madam M for over 6 years, gets wind of the murders and assumes the girls who were kidnapped 6 years ago have resurfaced into professional assassins. He decides to track the girls and starts by talking to Charlene's mom. During a mission in Hong Kong where Charlene and Jing successfully murder a protected government official, Charlene meets her long-lost mother, who seems distraught upon setting her eyes on what her daughter had turned to. Madam M feels Charlene's mom has become a distraction and thus sends Jing to kill her. Jing is however met by Jack and the two go toe-to-toe. Jing does overpower Jack with her skills, but just as she prepares to stub him, Charlene shows up and puts her off. Jing and Charlene then fight each other, showcasing the skills they learned. Jing however makes a grave mistake and Charlene utilizes it to kill her. Charlene and Jack then hurriedly rush her mother to the hospital. Madam M later offers Charlene and Catherine a job, telling them it's their last, then they are out. The job though turns out to be a trap that had been set by Ryuichi, who was avenging the death of his best friend, who had been killed by Charlene and Catherine. Charlene does escape, but Catherine is caught by Ryuichi. After regaining her consciousness, Charlene goes back to rescue her friend. She arrives and watches helplessly through a bulletproof glass as Ryuichi tortures her friend. He then proceeds to mercilessly kill her, leaving Charlene in grief and sorrow. An enraged Charlene battles Ryuichi in an intense fight where they match each other's strengths and skill stride for stride. Ryuichi shifts the odds in his favor when he claws Charlene's eyes, rendering her temporarily blind. Charlene though is able to use her instincts and eventually severs Ryuichi's spinal cord, ultimately killing him. The film ends with Jack Chan rushing through the crowd in search of Charlene and hoping that they will meet someday.